Hi there, my name is Kira and today I'm going to show you how to crochet the cutest little sheep. It works up very quickly and it is low sew. The only sewing that you have to do is sewing the head onto the body. If you're a beginner, check out the videos I have linked down below with tutorials for a magic ring and some of the other basic stitches that I'll be using in today's pattern. Let's go ahead and get started. For supplies, you'll need a pair of scissors, a 5mm crochet hook, a stitch marker and an embroidery needle, 20mm safety eyes, and some polyfill stuffing. For yarn today, I'll be using Premier Parfait Chunky in the colors cream, charcoal, and you'll just need a scrap piece of white and pink plush yarn. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make the sheep's head, and to make the sheep's body, I'm going to send you over to another video that I use. It just is a pattern for like a basic body, and this is the body that I use for a lot of my animals. So rather than recording myself making the body over and over again, I just figured it would be easier to make one video and then show you how to make the animals' heads and all the pieces and parts. So in a couple seconds I will put up a video on the screen, and it's the exact same body but it's using different colors, so you can kind of just ignore the colors in the video that they're using. For my sheep, I used it's kind of like a dark blue gray color for the legs and the arms, and then I just used a cream yarn for the body. So feel free to use whatever colors you'd like, but make sure when you're watching that video to use colors that you want to use for your sheep and not the colors that I'm using in that video. After you've watched that video and completed making the body, then you want to go ahead and come back here and I'll show you how to make the sheep's head and all the other details and kind of put everything together. So I'll see you back here in just a second. You can also find the link for the body video down in the description. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to make the ears, and I'm going to start the ears by making 6 single crochet into a magic ring. I am playing yarn chicken today, so we'll see how far I can get in this pattern before I run out of this charcoal colored yarn. For the next round, I'm going to make 1 single crochet and then an increase stitch and repeat that 3 times to go all the way around. So 1 single crochet and then an increase stitch, and then I'm going to do that 2 more times. And then I'm going to go ahead and place my stitch marker. For the next round, I'm going to make 2 single crochet and then an increase stitch and repeat that 3 times to go all the way around. So 1 and 2 single crochet and then an increase stitch. And then I'm going to do that 2 more times. For the next round, I'm going to make 3 single crochet and then an increase stitch and repeat that 3 times to go all the way around. For the next round, I'm just going to do 15 single crochet around. For the next round, I'm going to do 3 single crochet and then a decrease stitch and repeat that 3 times to go all the way around. So 1, 2, 3 single crochet and then a decrease stitch. And then I'm going to do that 2 more times. And then for the last round of the ear, I'm going to do 2 single crochet and a decrease stitch and repeat that 3 times to go all the way around. So 1 and 2 single crochet and then a decrease stitch and then I'm going to do that 2 more times. And then to close off the ear, I'm just going to close these 2 ends together and make 4 single crochet across the top through both sides. And then before I tie off my yarn, I'm actually going to fold my ear in half again and try to line up these 4 single crochet as best I can. And I'm just going to make 2 single crochet now through both sides, just to kind of help fold that ear a little bit. And then you can go ahead and tie off your yarn. And then once you have one of your ears all finished, you're going to want to repeat those exact same steps again to make a second ear. And then I'm just going to go ahead and set these aside, and we'll come back to them once we get started working on the head. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and get started working on the head. So I'm going to use my cream colored yarn, and I'm just going to start by making 6 single crochet in a magic ring. For the next round, I'm going to make 6 increase stitches. And then I'm going to go ahead and place my stitch marker. In this next round, we're going to be doing bobble stitches, and I'll show you how to do one. So this next round is going to be 1 bobble stitch and then an increase stitch, and I'm going to repeat that 6 times to go all the way around. So to make a bobble stitch, I'm going to yarn over my hook and insert my hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and then pull through 2 loops, and then I'm just going to do that again and again and again until I have 6 loops on my hook. So I'm going to again just yarn over, go into that same stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then I'm going to do it again, yarn over and into that same stitch. I'm sure there's a more in-depth tutorial on this somewhere if you need it, but again, yarn over into that same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now I have 5 loops on my hook, and I'm going to do one more. And then once you have all 6 loops on your hook, you can yarn over and just pull through all 6 loops all at the same time. Just like that. So there's that. And then in my next stitch, I'm going to do my increase stitch. And you can see my bobble stitch is kind of popped out a little bit. We'll come back and pop those the other direction in a little bit. So that was 1 bobble stitch and then 1 increase stitch, and I'm going to repeat that 5 more times to go all the way around. For the next round, I'm going to do 1 bobble stitch, 1 single crochet, and then an increase stitch, and repeat that around 6 times to go all the way around. So I'm going to do 1 bobble stitch, just like before. And then I'm going to do 1 single crochet and then an increase stitch. And I'm just going to repeat this pattern all the way around. So that'll be 5 more times. For the next round, we're going to do 1 bobble stitch, 1 single crochet, 1 bobble stitch, 1 increase stitch, 6 times all the way around. So 1 bobble stitch, maybe. And then 1 single crochet, and then 1 bobble stitch, and then an increase stitch. And then I'm going to repeat that pattern 5 more times to go all the way around. Okay, for the next round, we're just gonna do 4 single crochet and an increase stitch 6 times to go all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 single crochet and then an increase stitch. And then I'm just gonna do this 5 more times. For the next round, we're gonna make 1 single crochet and then a bobble stitch and repeat that 18 times around. So I'll do the first one with you here, just 1 single crochet and then a bobble stitch. And then I'm just gonna repeat that around 17 more times. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of this round off camera, just because they take so long, but then I'll be right back to show you what to do next. Okay, so I just finished my round of 1 single crochet and 1 bobble stitch, 18 times around. And bear with me guys, we only have 2 more rounds with the bobble stitches. I know these take a long time. Absolutely so worth it. For the next round, we're going to be attaching the ears in this round. Before we attach the ears, you're going to do 1 single crochet and 1 bobble stitch 6 times. So just like we did before, I'm going to do 1 single crochet and then 1 bobble stitch. And that was 1 time, so I'm going to do that 5 more times. And then, okay, finally, I'm gonna grab my first ear. And just so you can see a little bit better, this is the back of the head. So when I attach my ear, I want my folded part of the ear to be facing away from me. And then I'm just gonna kind of line up these 2 stitches that we made on the top of the ear with the next 2 stitches on my head. And then I'm gonna make 2 single crochet through both the head and the ear. So there's 1, and then 1 more time. And there's 2. And then I'm gonna make 1 single crochet and a bobble stitch 4 times across the top of the head here. So 1 single crochet and then a bobble stitch. And then I'm going to do that 3 more times. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab my second ear and I'm going to attach it the exact same way. So when I have the back of the head like this facing me, I promise this will look better in a second. I'm going to make sure that that folded in part is facing away from me, and then just line up these 2 single crochet on my ear with the next 2 single crochet on my head, and then I'm going to make 2 single crochet through both pieces. Okay, and then I'm just going to finish off this round, and then I'm just going to do 1 single crochet and a bobble stitch 6 times to finish off the round. So I'm gonna start with my single crochet and then a bobble stitch. And then I'm just going to repeat this 5 more times. Okay, so we just have one more round left with the bobble stitches, and then this is going to get much easier. So bear with me here for the next round. I'm going to start by just making one single crochet, and then I'm going to make a bobble stitch and one single crochet 6 times. So a bobble stitch, and then one single crochet, and then I'm going to repeat that 5 more times. And then I'm gonna do one bobble stitch and one decrease stitch 3 times. So one bobble stitch, and then a decrease stitch, and then I'm going to do that 2 more times. And then to finish off the round, I'm going to do one single crochet and one bobble stitch 7 times. So one single crochet and then one bobble stitch, and then I'm just gonna repeat that 6 more times until I get to the end of the round. Okay, and then in this last stitch here, I'm just going to change colors over to my charcoal colored yarn. and we are done with the hard part. For this next round, we're going to start by making 2 single crochet. And then a decrease stitch. And then I'm going to make 5 single crochet. And then I'm going to make a decrease stitch and 3 single crochet 3 times. So a decrease stitch, let's try that again. So a decrease stitch, and then 3 single crochet, and then I'm going to do that 2 more times. And then I'm going to make another 5 single crochet. Another decrease stitch. And then I'm just going to finish off the round with 2 more single crochet. I think I said this at the beginning, but I am playing yarn check-in and I just lost. So I'm gonna have to come back and pick up this video where I left off in a couple of days when my yarn comes in. But before I leave you for the night, I'm going to go through the head and take each one of these bobble stitches that we made and push it to the outside. And this might take you a second and they're not gonna look perfect at first, but you just want to use like your nail a little bit to just pop these all the way out so that they stick out on the outside and not on the inside. Okay, so I am back. It's been probably a couple weeks or something. I finally got more yarn in the mail, so we're gonna continue on where we left off on our sheep. For the next round, I'm gonna start with 8 single crochet. And then I'm gonna do 2 decrease stitches. And then 4 single crochet. And then another 2 decrease stitches. And then finish off the round with 8 more single crochet. For the next round, I'm going to start by making 11 single crochet. And then 1 decrease stitch. And then I'm just going to finish off the round with 11 more single crochet. For the next round, I'm going to start by making 6 single crochet. And then 5 decrease stitches. And then I'm just going to finish off the round with 7 more single crochet. For the next round, I'm just going to do 18 single crochet around. I'm going to go ahead and do this round off camera, but again, you're just going to do 1 round of 18 single crochet around. Okay, so I just finished my 18 single crochet around, and now's a good time to go ahead and add some stuffing and our safety eyes into the head. I like to add stuffing to the head before I add my safety eyes, but feel free to do it the other way around if that's what you prefer. Okay, so I just have my eyes in between, so if you go 1 row back, it's in between those next 2 rounds, and they're about 7 stitches apart. And then once you're happy with the placement of your eyes, you can go ahead and pop the backings on them. You do just want to make sure that they're nice and centered with the ears as well. And it's okay if they look a little far apart right now. We're going to do some shaping that will help bring them closer together once we get done with the face. For the next round, we're going to do 1 single crochet and then a decrease stitch, and repeat that 6 times to go all the way around. So 1 single crochet and then a decrease stitch, and then I'm just going to repeat that 5 more times. And then for the last round of the head, we're just going to do 6 decrease stitches, but you want to make sure to add a little more stuffing in there before you completely close up the head. And then once you're happy with how the nose is stuffed, we can go ahead and tie off this yarn. And then just to close up this gap, I'm going to thread this tail onto my embroidery needle. And then I'm just going to weave this in and out of all 6 stitches that I have left around. And then once you've gone through all 6 stitches, you can go ahead and just pull that tight. And then I'm just going to weave the tail into the head. And then with this scrap piece of yarn that I have left on my embroidery needle, I'm going to use this to do some shaping and bring those eyes a little bit closer together. So I'm just going to insert this at the top inside corner of my eye and bring it over to the top inside corner of my other eye. Pull that through, but make sure to leave a little bit of a tail over here. And then I'm going to go down to the bottom inside corner of this same eye, over to the bottom inside corner of my other eye. And then when I tie these two ends together, it's just going to bring those eyes close together. So feel free to tie it as tight or as loose as you like. And then you can go ahead and just tie the yarn off and weave the ends into the head. And then we're gonna make some little white details around the outside of the eyes. So I'm just gonna thread a little scrap piece of white plush yarn onto my embroidery needle. And then I'm gonna insert this at the top center of my eye and have it come just somewhere off to the side here. And then you want to rethread your needle onto the other end of the yarn and insert this at the bottom center of the eye and back out to the side of the head where you brought the yarn out the first time. And then when you pull those tight, it just creates that little white detail on the outside of the eye. Then you can just tie these two ends together and weave them into the head, and you just want to make sure to repeat this again on the other eye. And then we just have one more little detail to add to the face. If you want, you can tack these ears down just with like a scrap piece of yarn to keep them kind of facing forward. I think I'm just going to leave mine floppy for now. And the last little detail we have is just to embroider a nose. So I'm just going to use a little bit of pink plush yarn and thread that onto my embroidery needle. And I'm going to insert this kind of like right on the tip of the nose here, centered between the eyes. And this is about 3 stitches wide. And I'm just going to loop my yarn around these 3 stitches a couple of times until I'm happy with how the nose looks. So I only ended up looping my yarn around twice, but to tie this off, I'm just going to bring this yarn over here to the other side and tie these two ends in a knot. You just want to make sure that the knot ends on the side of the nose so that you can tuck it into the head, just like that. And then you can tie the ends together and weave them into the head. And the very last step is to sew the head onto the body. So I'm just going to grab my body and thread the tail that we left on the top of the body onto my embroidery needle. And then I'm just going to line up my head where I want it and kind of hold that in place. And then to sew this on, I'm just going to grab a stitch from my head and then grab a stitch from my body. And then go back to grab another stitch from my head. And I'm just going to kind of continue this all the way around until I have the head completely sewn on. So once it's on, I'll come back and show you what it looks like all finished. And then here is my little sheep all finished. This pattern is so cute. If you do make this pattern, I would absolutely love to see your photos, and you can tag me on Instagram at Crochet with Kira. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.